Hello and welcome to the Gaia update for the year 2016. I'm Adrienne Elise. 2016 is a year of change, and we've been saying this for a while, since 2012, the year of shifting. And here we are continuing to shift, and this year we're really going to feel that because we are searching for ground under our feet. This is reflected in 4 Mercury retrogrades happening in Earth signs. The information that we're seeking right now, what we're trying to understand and figure out, is the ground under our feet. What is real and what is illusion and delusion? This is highlighted by the major aspect of 2016. We also felt in 2015 Saturn square Neptune. Now, this is part of a T-square that goes on for a lot of the year, interactive between Saturn and Sagittarius, Neptune and Chiron in Pisces, and then Jupiter in the North Node in Virgo. And so these are mutable signs. Now, the mutable signs are the ones that are not the starters. The cardinals are the starters. The fixed signs are the finishers and the completers. Mutables in the middle. And here we are. We are really lost about where we're heading. And this is the year that we start to figure that out. And it's kind of like 2015 was when we figured out we didn't know. And here we are in 2016, and so the mutable signs are the ones that happen in the change of seasons. And so it's kind of like one day can be one way, one day can be something else. So the key to 2016 with all this mutable energy is to not get attached to any one way, any one certain thing. And it's a beautiful opportunity then to reevaluate our stuck places, our fixed beliefs, the places, our addictions of the way, our negative thinking, and our attachment to on any level the way things are supposed to or meant to be, because this year is a year to challenge all of that. Now, compounding this is that 2016, at the beginning of February, we move into the Chinese year of the monkey. Now, this is really significant because we've got mutable, a lot of mutable energy, and changeable, flexible, but disruptive, chaotic kind of energy here and there. I don't know what's going on. One day it's this way, one day it's another way. And then we've got the monkey. Now, the monkey is the same type of energy, going from branch to branch, constantly moving around and checking out new territory. And so the monkey is also the key to our DNA, the origin of our species. And so we've got some energy there around humanity as the monkey, as the adaptability. The evolution of our species shows that humanity and the energy of the monkey is really about adaptability and being able to adjust to changes. And that's indeed what we're being asked to do on a massive level right now as we change our bodies into light and the planet moves into a whole nother dimensional frequency. And we've talked about this a lot, but we haven't seen a lot of outward changes. Now, these changes are going to be coming in 2016 because we're moving out of that Pluto-Uranus square for good. January, these planets are 1 degree out of their square, and then they move apart. Now, when these planets were in conjunction, major shifting, generational shifting planets, they were in conjunction in the 60s and were said to be the impulse for a lot of the social changes and things that happened in that time. But those didn't really show up until after the planets came out of that conjunction. And now we're at a square, and the square is even is more tension. It's that time of tension before the shift occurs. And so this is the last few years that we've been in, just kind of trying to scramble and figure out what it is we need to do and change and to be able to move into this new dimensional frequency. And so now we're going to start seeing these changes on the outside, and that's going to be 2016 as a year of disclosure, finding out a lot about what's really going on out there beyond what we've been told in the universe. And so this is also a year of disclosure within the personal, of course, then. And so what does that mean in your life with this Saturn square Neptune being such a powerful energy for 2016? Saturn is reality, our reality planet, our karma planet, the rules, the dogma, the way you want to do things, to do it right, get it done. And then it's in the sign of Sagittarius, though. And Sagittarius is our seeker and our teacher, and wanting to go out beyond what we understand and the epic journey. And so the work and the karma of this time that we're in is about the epic journey of discovery, the truth of who we really are. That brings us back to Uranus and Aries, the revolution of our identity. And that is bringing us to the child self, which is the Aries representation. And it's a time of the golden age, of the rebirth of humanity into its next form. And here we are at the edge of this. Now, what better way to usher us into this rebirth than the Virgin energy? And so we have Jupiter and the North Node in Virgo. And this is really powerful because Jupiter is our expansive self, the part of us that wants to go. It's that ruler of Sagittarius. It wants to go out beyond. It wants to travel to the distance of understanding. And then we've got the North Node, and the North Node is our future karma, meaning the direction, how we're getting to where we're going. And so Virgo energy is really prominent for 2016, and I see that as an opportunity to rebirth into this new identity, which is represented by that Uranus and Aries, the new identity of participants in the earth in its golden age of evolution, the identity of humans having a cosmic consciousness, a technological awareness way beyond what we can comprehend in our daily life, but that exists already for us, just waiting in the wings. And so it's a cosmological identity. The truth of who we are, humanity, is a cosmic understanding of the whole and our connectedness to it. And that means we need to pierce beyond the veil and understand. So that Saturn square Neptune, Neptune is our dreams, delusions, also the collective part of ourselves. And so here we have this reality planet, but in the seeking a truth of our reality, and then coming up against Neptune being in Pisces there is speaking to the past and the delusions of the past, but also it's speaking to how do we make our dreams real, because Neptune is the dreamer, is that collective consciousness, and there is a collective dream that already exists, very potent and very powerful. And as we move into these higher dimensional frequencies, there's a huge energy shift around time and how we perceive time. And so we know this golden age of the earth is coming, and we can exist in that. We can know that to be true in our daily life and start to get into alignment with that frequency. That is what light workers are being called to do this year of 2016, is to hold these possibilities in the strange shifting that's going on of not being able to find the ground under your feet, and everything's different. And today I think one thing, and tomorrow I think something else, with this mutable energy, and then Saturn squaring Neptune. And that's kind of how it's going to feel like. But in that strange reality configuration of I don't know what's real and what's not real, it's almost like you can slip through to be able to create the dream. So as much as there's confusion and chaos and lots of shifting and lots of back and forth and lots of I don't know what's real and I don't know what's illusion, in the midst of that is this energy where we can kind of slip into our most appropriate timeline and get into this energy of the dream we want to create. And within that mutable, changeable, adaptability energy of the monkey, being able to kind of tap into this key year of humanity, and those of us who are really ready to let go, to have the rebirth, to let the Virgin cleanse us, to separate the wheat from the chaff. And that means letting go of the past karma. That means forgiving everyone who played out the most painful shit for us and the stuff that we played out for them, and asking for their forgiveness and loving ourselves through this. Now, Virgo has the energy of perfection. It's ruled by Mercury. It wants to understand, it wants to analyze, and it wants to have things be just right, you know? And so for this planetary evolution, what does that mean? well, coupled with that Uranus and Aries energy, there's a really beautiful picture of this virgin birth, of this energy of cleansing humanity and ourselves of all of the karma, all of these misconceptions about who we really are, seeing ourselves as this cosmic consciousness, and releasing these stories of the past. So a virgin birth, Rudolf Steiner talked about it, is actually means a birth into a new phase, leaving everything of the stories of the genetic, ancestral, and past life behind, that's completely cleansed. And so we're having this rebirth, we're having this opportunity for this rebirth within this body, within this life, with our full consciousness that we are part of the creative consciousness. And so it's just a super powerful year to kind of veer off from all this chaos and create your own reality in just the way you want to, that's in alignment with your highest self. And so it's a huge year around that for paying attention to getting in the cosmic flow and allowing synchronicities, energies to guide you as we lighten our load, as we become the perfection of the child. So the Virgo medicine here is finding the perfected part of ourselves that does not need to be fixed. And so Virgo can be is kind of known to be critical and looking at things in a critical way and wanting to understand. And then that, of course, lends to criticism and judgment. And so the main healing energy here of the virgin birth is to release all of our criticism and judgment. All criticism is self-criticism. Anywhere we feel judgment, that's towards ourselves and towards the personality part of us, the part of us that's not really real, the part of us that is the sheath that we wear this time around, but is not actually the core essence of who we are. And so this virgin birth is an opportunity to release all of that, come into a new identity, humanity as a collective whole, that we are cosmic consciousness. And then, so those of us who are ready to really live that out in our life, just really allowing for that awareness to live as much as possible. It's a great year to really make sure you have your time for meditation, and allowing that to be a lot about finding that perfected self, rather than criticizing yourself about what you're not doing or what you're not doing right, or criticizing other people or criticizing the world the way it is right now. To focus on this perfected part of you, the part of you that came right from source and was never corrupted. And so have your own virgin rebirth into your new identity as a cosmic being in the flow, open to the magic, open to creating these dreams, letting the energy flow. And so it's a good year to meet your soul partners, working on projects. The soul team is coming together. And that is part of this cosmic flow. So just stay open to this. And the more you pay attention, allow for this energy in your life, the more it will be there. And that's the big thing for 2016 through all this, what is real and what's delusion, is understanding how powerful we are, means understanding how we are creating this reality. But we're creating it out of false pretense, lies, and programming. And so we have to separate out the lies. And we have to separate out our own lies, our own delusions. And this is like where we've been trapped in old templates and where we are addicted. So Neptune, the energy of Neptune being really triggered with this square, Neptune can often be associated with kind of escapism, delusions, or like addictions. But the main addiction I'm seeing people really needing to work on is this addiction to patterns of thought and negative thinking, criticism, and of course it all comes back to the self-criticism, the judgment. And so if we can allow ourselves to be that child, innocent self, to go find that purity and perfection, and work from that place where we have the unconditional love for ourselves and others, we can really move in this energy in magical ways to just release and change and move with the energy, flexible enough to have these big shifts in your beliefs. So it's definitely a year where we're going to be like, wait a minute, this is totally different than what I thought I'd ever be doing. Or maybe it's like, I absolutely thought that was true, and I found out that actually the opposite is true. And this is just a massive landscape of the monkey, the mutable signs. Use these Mercury retrogrades and Earth signs really to literally slow down and get the information we need about finding that ground under our feet. They're like resets. It's a very different energy from Mercury retrogrades in the past. So just use the Mercury retrograde energy when that's happening to slow down and reset, because that's when we can kind of reanalyze and again shift into that most appropriate timeline, to the most appropriate story, collapse all of the stories of the past that we want to leave behind as we purify and have this version of rebirth. And so that means simplifying life. This is a year, Virgo is really powerful energy to get organized and simplify, and we all live way busy lives that distract us from this awareness, from what's happening right now. All time is happening right now, and so we really literally only have that. And so by simplifying our lives and clearing away the clutter, clearing away the people that aren't serving us, clearing away the projects that aren't moving forward, being ready to let go, renew, rebuild, and let this mutable monkey energy work in the most powerful way for you to come out of delusion and into the truth of who you are as a powerful co-creator of this amazing experience called Earth Evolution. So blessings on your 2016. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. I'm Adrienne Elise.